This is going to be your weekly tarot and oracle forecast. If it's meant for you, it's meant for you. We're going to take a look at the energies for the upcoming week, break it down day by day, and let you know how to navigate. I feel like I have so much to tell you. I don't even know where to begin. I feel like the energy today is so fascinating to me. So I'll tell you how I'm feeling, and then you can let me know in the comments if you're feeling this too. I feel like the weather's been really up and down. You know, a few days ago, where I live anyways, we had this beautiful sunshine. You know, it felt so spring-like and summer-like, even though it may not have been super hot outside or anything. It's just there was a vibe, you know, and I was really channeling summer love. And of course, the song Summer Love by Justin Timberlake came to my mind. You know, I can't wait to fall in love with you. You can't wait to fall in love with me. This just can't be summer love. You know, there's something about that vibe that I was feeling. Okay, fast forward to a couple days later, this snowstorm kind of came out of nowhere. You know, like it was almost like what? Like it was like a sobering reminder that, you know, energy can change at a moment's notice. And so that kind of threw me for a loop. And then interestingly enough, we had that snowstorm and we were scheduled to have, you know, another sort of hazardous, you know, weather system. I don't even know what you call it. And it didn't happen. We had beautiful sunshine. Even though it was cold, just to look out the window, the sunshine was absolutely beautiful. And so I'm just feeling this sort of back and forth. Maybe it's this, should I, shouldn't I? Can I have this? Can I really have this? You know, the weather's almost like reflecting maybe some feelings that are in the air, you know? And I still maintain the fact that there is a summer love kind of vibe, you know, where we're craving that summer love. We're craving the heat and change and things blooming. You know, that was the word also that came to my mind was blooming. And when we think of the word blooming, it means being open, right? We're opening slowly over time. You know, like there's nothing more beautiful than a flower that blooms, but that blooming doesn't necessarily happen overnight. And I think that's what's really difficult when we are trying to make something happen right away, you know, or we're trying to push it. And so I think maybe there's a bit of this instant gratification that we're looking for, yet it's going to bloom in time and it's going to be amazing. And that's kind of how I'm looking at things right now. So interestingly enough, also, we're about to leave Aquarius season. Monday is the first day of Pisces season, which means such deep feelings, these emotions coming to the surface. And so, yeah, I don't even know what to say. It's just a much different vibe, you know, so prepare yourself to have a bit of that emotion come in. But at the same time, Mars and Venus are in Aquarius. So that means, you know, a bit of a song and dance with Mars and Venus. It's kind of nice that they're in the same sign. But at the same time, it's about working through some feelings, as in communicating some feelings. You know, Mars is forward motion, desire, you know, and Venus can be about love and finances and self-worth, self-value, self-respect. So very interesting energy right now. So I'm really curious to know in the comments how you're feeling. So let's take a look at some overall vibes or themes for this reading today. And we have emotional desert. Interesting. Inactivity and isolation. How many of you feel kind of isolated? I don't know if anybody else had this vibe. And obviously these readings are timeless, but you know, even this morning, and this is Sunday morning, Sunday, even Saturday, didn't it feel like odd? I don't know how to explain it. I know it's a long weekend, but like it feels odd. Like it didn't feel like Saturday. And maybe there is a bit of isolation. I don't know, but look at the sun coming into this card. You know, I'm talking about summer love here and sort of the sun beaming. And I feel like the sun is going to lift us out of that isolation. We are going to get the water. That's the Pisces, you know, coming in here. This is a number 11 card, which means, you know, new beginnings. There's something really special brewing. That's all I can say. I don't know how else to describe it to you. I just know that there's something really beautiful coming. And let's take a look. These cards are very dreamy and watery and made me think of Pisces. Heard. May your brave call be carried on the wind. And look at this wave. Look at these emotions. Oh my goodness. There's that Pisces energy. I told you. I don't know what it is in these cards today. I just randomly went and picked some decks that I haven't used in a little while and said, okay, let's use these. I'm feeling them. Now I know why. The emotions are... the emotions are coming in. They're riding in. You're going to have to ride that wave. Okay. You know, also I want to make a point about the word heard. I think a lot of people, you know, want to be heard. You know, they want to be acknowledged. And I think that's going to happen with this energy coming in. I really do. Let's take a look at this deck here and see what else we need to know. Great achievement. I think many of you have achieved something that you may not even be aware of. You may not even be aware of the fact that you have done something different lately that is bringing you in a new direction. Whether that is starting a new hobby, whether that is being more creative artistically in some way, opening yourself up to love. I mean, that was the message of the readings that I posted this morning, you know, being open to love. Are you willing to open yourself up more and more? Like I said, it's blooming, right? Like it takes time to grow. I'm going to take a love card because I kind of feel these lovey vibes. Like I was saying, summer love. I don't know. Soul searching. Needing to work on some personal issues first. Absolutely. Putting yourself first. I think those are some of the things that I've been talking about for, well, I guess for a long time. But, you know, just putting yourself on that pedestal. Working through the things that you need to work through in order to find that love that you want. You know, it really starts with us. It really does. People don't just miraculously fall from the sky. They come into your life because you need it, and vice versa. They need your energy too, but it's to help you grow and to change. And sometimes it's a season and a reason. Like sometimes, you know, it may not be forever, but it will bring you to a place that you really need to be, you know. And something else too is that sometimes throughout this process, something is sort of right under your nose the entire time, and you don't even realize it until this aha moment or epiphany. I don't know how to explain it. You know, sometimes you're blooming and you're growing, and then all of a sudden you start to think about, who would I call if I was in a situation that I needed someone? And that came up in a video that I saw this morning, actually, was like, who would you call? And sometimes the people you would call are ones you didn't necessarily realize meant so much to you. You know what I mean? And that's because things bloom or they develop over time. It's like building connections. You know, we're doing the Alchemist book talk right now, and I'm loving it, and I can't wait for the class on Thursday night. But I'm so motivated for other ones, and I want to do the Little Prince next. And that one talks about building connection, where, you know, there's the story of the little prince meeting the fox, if you know the story. And every day that they see each other, they get closer, because a wild fox is not just going to come to you and snuggle with you and then talk to you or whatever, interact with you. You have to tame each other. And that's the thing about relationships. You're basically taming each other. You're building a connection. And as it grows, it gets stronger and stronger. So right now I'm really feeling this building connection. And again, I come back to the sun, you know, summer love, and great achievement is coming. Okay, I'm going to put these cards to the side. I digress. I've been talking for quite a while, as per usual. And we'll take a look at the cards for the upcoming week. But I will put these off to the side in case we do need them. So let's take a look at what we can anticipate for the week. Let's take a look at Monday. Now, Monday, first day of Pisces season. What do we need to know? The element of water. No way. Surprise, surprise. Intuition, emotions, and love on Monday. Oh, these lovey vibes. Interesting, interesting. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at Tuesday. What do we need to know about Tuesday? The Emperor. Initiative, authority, and leadership. I'm not surprised with that either, because we have to make some power moves. We do. And we have to trust our intuition. Even though Pisces can be very dreamy and they see things sometimes for what they want them to be, not necessarily what they are. If you're a Pisces, let me know in the comments if that's the case. I mean, I often find that most Pisces have quite the imagination, the artistic side to them, the intuitiveness to them, but they're also one of the most overgiving signs of the zodiacs, right? Because ideally they give everybody umpteen chances or want to see them in the potential versus the reality. So you do have to be a little bit careful with Pisces energy. As a Virgo myself, Pisces is my sister sign, right? So I have elements of that. I have a great imagination. My mind can definitely go to places. But at the same time, I have the logic in me, you know, as a Virgo. But, you know, the Emperor is about taking initiative and trusting the intuition. So there's a lot of strength there. Let's take a look at Wednesday. Personality, nature, and mindfulness. Interesting. The personality triangle. You know, it's interesting. I'm reminded of some things that I've learned reading Dr. Joe Dispenza. If you know Dr. Joe Dispenza, you know. But I find it so interesting when he talks about how the emotional pain body works and when we are in a mood, you know. If we're in a mood, that's okay to be in a mood. If you feel angry, be angry. If you're sad, okay, be sad, feel it. But you have to let it go, because if you don't let it go, that mood becomes a temperament. And if you don't address that temperament becomes your personality. And the word personality is personal reality. And it becomes your norm, right? And sometimes people will say, well, Kelly, that's just who I am. That's just the way I am. I know me. That's who I am. And I think what people fail to recognize is there may be some truth to that, but that's also the story you're telling yourself. And that story is based on things from many years ago that really no longer exists. You know, it could be judgments that people had on you when you were a child or when you were a teenager. And it's so much easier to live up to those than to actually be your authentic self or your grown self, evolved self. And so, you know, we get caught up in these stories of who we think we are, when in reality, we're not really those people anymore, you know. And that's why I'm always very cautious, or I point out to people whenever they're trying to recreate something from years ago, you know, I want to go back to my old self. Do you really? Do you really? I mean, you want to go back to a time before basically, you know, things hit the fan? That's kind of what happens, is that we say we want to go back to a time just before everything went wrong. But those things going wrong were in response more than likely to something that you weren't addressing. That was more like, you know, living in ignorance is bliss. It wasn't really truly blissful. Maybe we thought it was, but it really wasn't in retrospect. Some people want to go back to that time where ignorance is bliss, but that really just means you were ignoring the signs, you know? So would you really want to go back to that energy? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't believe so. And if that's the case, then that might be some avoidance of making changes. I think that growing and evolving brings us to beautiful new experiences that we never thought possible. It's just fear, right? We just have fear. But on Wednesday, well, every day, it's not just Wednesday. I want you to really think about how you define yourself. You know, what is it that you say about yourself? What do you think is your personality? How would you define your personality, your nature? Let's take a look at Thursday. Oops, I thought, jeez. There we go. Ah, okay. Judgment. Fortitude, renewal, truths revealed. You know, Judgment card is transformation, a wake-up call. There could very well be some truth revealed. I mean, we've been talking actually astrologically lately about Uranus, you know, which is upheaval and, you know, a way to bring things to the surface when necessarily we don't want to. But it does help us in the long run, you know, it shifts us. But I think some things are going to come to light. I know we hear that all the time, but we're lifelong learners. Things always need to come to light. They always do come to light. Okay, let's see what's going on Friday. Wisdom, inspiration, spark, the divine masculine. Oh, interesting, interesting. You know, this wake-up call on Thursday, leading into Friday, is going to bring an aha moment, a spark of something. Divine masculine energy is the idea of forward motion, taking action, and we have the Emperor here. And the Emperor makes power moves. The Emperor, I always say this, the Emperor does not play around. This is not a masculine energy that sits back. They don't wait. They make moves. There's a masculine energy that's making some moves, inspired moves. Now, by the way, that can be your own inner masculine energy. This doesn't have to necessarily be about a person. I mean, you could be watching this thinking about a person in your life, and that's okay if you are, but recognize that there might be parts of you that need to make some moves as well, right? Okay, what came out here? Interesting. On Saturday, we've got victory, hope, love, and art. Wow. There's love in the air. I really believe that. And you know what's interesting about this card is that the green here is the heart chakra. And actually, hold on a second. I have to look at this for a minute. There's a rose right in the middle. And the rose, funny that I mentioned The Little Prince as the next book talk, because the rose is very significant to that story because it teaches you, well, it's hard to explain without really getting into the details of the book, but it really teaches you about love and sometimes the need to let go of something in search of whatever, insert blank, to recognize what you have. That's my whole point, actually, now that I think about this, going back. You know how I said sometimes something can be right under your nose and you don't even realize it? You know, where over time there's a bond that grows or something that really kind of surprises you. It's kind of like that, where sometimes you go your separate ways with someone or you put things on the back burner so that other things can happen in life. I don't know if that makes sense. But then there's this blooming or blossoming something, right? And look at these two swans. Like, this is very much about love. You know, look at these. Wow, just beautiful. Beautiful kitty cats. This admiration, this mirroring, these two pillars. A lot of love next weekend. Let's see on Sunday. Oh, we're getting deep today, as per usual. The soul triangle, mystical, soul-led, and harmony. Interesting how we had the personality triangle, and now it's almost like we're ascending, because these are like the lower, and now we have like mid. Mystical, soul-led harmony. There's a very deep soul. I'm telling you, there's something developing here. I don't know why I keep coming back to summer love. Like, what is it about that time? Or now I need to know what's the first day of of summer, or when the first day of summer is. I should know these things, but off the top of my head when I'm channeling cards, I don't. But, okay, let's take a look at the sneak peek for the following week. The Chariot, onwards and upwards. Determination, discipline, and concentration. Look at that lotus flower. I believe that's a lotus flower. I could be wrong though. Essentially, we've got onwards and upwards, victory. Okay, let's take a look at tarot cards. Wow, I'm sorry, this might be a very long reading. I didn't intend it to be this long, but I'm going to be using this beautiful gold foiled Rider-Waite tarot deck. I use this when I do my summer sun tarot readings. Every year I offer a little summer sun reading to look at the energies you might be experiencing, and I might put that up on my website, not yet, but at some point in the next while. And I love these cards because they glow like the sun, you know what I mean? So excuse me how they shuffle though. They make a terrible sound and they're very slippery. So let's take a look at Monday. What do we need to know about Monday? We talked about water and Pisces. The Empress, we're birthing a whole new cycle. I just want to make a point that we have the Emperor and the Empress. We have counterparts. Creativity and love, fertility, birthing a whole new cycle. How beautiful is that? Okay, let's see what we need to know about that Emperor on Tuesday. Collaboration, working together, going to the next level. By the way, 3-3. This is the Empress is a number 3, and we have the 3 of Pentacles. This is tangible. This is somebody or something coming in to offer you an upgrade to your current situation. Now, we talked about the personality triangle here on Wednesday. The Magician, communication. This is what I said to you earlier, you know, about what is it you say about yourself? What is the story you have about yourself? What is it that you think is your personality? Because again, your personality is your personal reality. And then look here. This looks like roses. There's the theme about roses. Oh, look at the roses all over her dress. I just love roses. I really do. It's so sad that they don't last very long, you know? But there's something about roses. My grandmother used to actually call me what translated to like little rose. And yeah, there's something about roses in this reading. Okay, let's take a look at Thursday. Judgment. Wake-up call. Healing. How beautiful. Healing, rest, rejuvenation. I think whatever truth is going to be revealed is going to bring about some healing in your life. There's the Wisdom card underneath there. Let's see. 8 of Swords. You know, the 8 of Swords is the illusion of mental entrapment. It's overthinking. So, you know, on Friday, this inspiration, there might be this news that comes in that might be, you know, overthought. I don't know if that even makes sense. And I'm an English teacher. You know, you might be overthinking something that you don't necessarily need to overthink. You know, it could just be, how do you move forward? You know, you're wondering who, what, when, where, why, and how, and you really don't need to, because there's victory. Like, there's nothing to worry about. Right? There's nothing to fear but fear itself. So let's see. Let's see this victory card here. Yeah, the King of... I see there's the decisiveness. It's all good. Really, it's all good. This just says kind of detach a little bit. You know, just keep your head on your shoulders. Now let's see. Mystical, soul-led harmony. Queen of Wands, confidence. Sunflowers. Be confident. Your soul knows the way. Your heart knows the way. And the Chariot here, it's time to leave your comfort zone in all aspects. This could even be about travel, like you might be going away somewhere. There's the roses. Wow. Okay. Let's get some oracle cards now to see what else we need to know. Let's go back to Monday. The library. You know, this is going to sound maybe a little bit out of left field, but the library can actually be about the Akashic Records. If you know anything about the Akashic Records, we're talking about the entire library of the entire universe, every soul, you know. This includes past life connections. You know, when you meet somebody and it's like you just know them. You have no way of knowing why, but you just do. You have a reaction to them. And by the way, that can go both ways. That can be like where somebody absolutely like, you know, repulses you, believe it or not. That can be a sign of somebody you met in a past life, you know. But in general, you know, you just know that knowing where you just feel that comfort with them. And you have knowledge. The library is about knowledge. And I always say, like, knowledge is power, yes, but like what you do with that knowledge is so much more powerful. But to me, there's like emotions coming to the surface. You're birthing something new. You are basically taking what you've learned and you're applying it to your present so you can have a better future. But I also think there's an element of past life something here, you know, whether that's a connection, because we did see the Emperor and the Empress, and it makes me wonder because like the Emperor is the King of Kings, right? And the Empress is Queen of Queens. So there's something really spiritual in nature here, right? And we're talking about an upgrade to a current situation here on Tuesday. Let's see. Yeah, ascension, hot air balloon, balance, uplifting. We're going to another level. Rise above. Don't resist it. New perspectives. Feeling good. Absolutely. And look, 8-8. We're in a number 8 year. Infinite abundance here. And the Magician. You have all the tools to manifest everything you want. Here's the optical illusion card. And we talked about that a bit with Pisces energy. You know, I have a feeling. Hold on a second. Well, okay. I'll tell you what I was going to say first, and then I'll tell you second. It's almost like somebody is going to get into their head, you know, and think that they can't have something. They're going to think it's an illusion. I can't have this. I don't deserve that. And look what it says on the card. It says predictive programming. Funny, we're talking about personality. This is exactly what I said about personality. If you're stuck on a story that you have of yourself from ages ago that just doesn't even exist anymore, even though it feels comfortable, it's not really the truth. And it's because of predictive programming, because you're trying to predict the future based on your past. Well, if nothing ever works out for you, well, then you're in your mind, you're going, well, this is never going to work out for me in the future. Yet you crave it so much. You want love so much. You want success so much. You want abundance so much. Well, how else do you get it other than to change your story? If you don't have something, you've got to figure out ways around it. You know, that's what it takes. That's what it takes. Trial and error, learning, putting yourself out there. But I know history repeats itself, but it doesn't have to. Isn't this I'm going to give you a side note for a moment. Gosh, me and my side notes. I mean, think about this. As far as history and business go, right? If you think of like the business model or the wheel, you know, everything comes back around, right? History repeats itself. You know, you wonder about the atrocities in the world and you say to yourself, how is it that we don't learn from these experiences? We don't learn from war. We don't learn from this, that, whatever, insert whatever story. And it's the same thing in our daily lives. Like, we know better, we know different. And yet for some reason, sometimes we'll just go right back into the same old, because we're going to predict based on previous experience. When do things actually change? When we decide to stand up and do different. That's what it comes down to, you know? And then again, projection. I've been noticing, you know, and this happens even in like my daily life outside of, you know, doing sessions or talking on live about these things or in these readings. You know, I see so much projection. People talking on other people's behalf. Well, they're not going to want to date me because I have this, I have that. I've already had kids. I can't have kids. Why would they want to be with me if I can't give them this? I'm too old for them. Our age difference is a problem. I've heard it all. Let people make their own decisions. You know, a lot of people have age difference. You know, I hear this all the time. I've encountered it myself in my own dating life. You know, I think age, you know, is a number. It's energy. Your souls don't know an age. So I get people come to me and say, well, Kelly, we have an 11-year age difference. Kelly, you know, I'm 10 years older than they are, or they're 8 years older than I am. You know, we can't make this work. Well, you know, I don't know. It depends on the scenario, but I would just say don't project your fears onto other people. And as another side note, you know, I used to say to even my own mother, I would say, like, don't put your fears on me. They're not my fears, they're yours. You know, when she was worried about me leaving my career as a teacher to do this full time, she would say, but what if, but this, but that. Those are your fears. Those are not mine. I don't know if you've ever seen this video circulating on social media, but it talks about how you're basically only born with two fears: fear of noises and fear of falling. And the rest is learned. So if you are afraid of dogs, it could be because a parent was bitten by a dog or had a bad experience with a dog. You know, if you're afraid of heights, it could be because a parent had fear of heights and didn't take you up. I don't know. I live in the Toronto area, the CN Tower. I don't know. Whatever it is, we inherit fears. People project all the time. So just be mindful of your projections or your predictive programming. Now, on Thursday, we have the Four of Swords and this healing energy, this judgment. It's time to sort things out. I think many people have been lost, delayed. I mean, I look at this card and it says right on here, it's complicated. Well, what's complicated? Is the situation truly complicated, or are you making it complicated by making projections and predicting, you know, predictive programming? But this is also a situation to sort out, which you can absolutely do. It just requires sitting down and figuring it out. I think sometimes we're afraid to do that because then we say, what's next? You know, then what? What am I going to worry about when I have nothing to worry about? So on Friday, Eight of Swords, telephone. Hello. I laugh because as a child, if you don't know this about me, my parents gave my sister and I phone lessons. You know, if I ever answered the phone without a positive intonation in my voice, my parents would right away be like, don't answer the phone like that. You know, so I guess it paid off. But at the same time, I remember being a child and being like, oh, but anyways. So funny, we have 2-2 here as well, 8822, and we have another 2 as well, 222. You know, that's building, and that's connection and communication, conversation, getting through. Two-way street, message, vocal, loud and clear. Loud and clear. Notification, throat chakra, inner voice, something's going to ring a bell. There you go. You've got inspiration, spark. I don't know. Well, maybe the divine masculine is going to be communicating. Okay. Well, there's funny because there's the King of Swords on the love card there. Oh, very likely. Very likely. Interesting. I took a second card because I really wanted to see self-love, self-aware, seeing clearly. That's the King of Swords, seeing clearly. Somebody's seeing clearly. They're going to communicate it. Okay, Queen of Wands. Harvesting, abundance, bearing fruit, prosperity, fullness, goodness. Enjoy the fruits of your labor. I mean, we talked about the soul triangle. See how we were ascending? You get a taste of something, and then you get the reward. Another 8, 888. Okay, so the sneak peek at the following week. There we go. 2 cards. Funny, I felt it. Oh my gosh, 88. You can't even make that up. You know, here's the thing. How many of you have been feeling worn down, tired, exhausted, bone tired, it says, needs restoration, overdue, old habits die hard? See what I mean? See what I mean? You think the good old days were the good old days, but were they really? It's now the time to get out of victim mentality and out of confusion. Look at resist clarity. That's why this Two of Wands is saying leave the comfort zone, right? That Chariot card says get up and go. We're not sitting back anymore. We're not doing the same old as before. Can't do it anymore. Just can't. So let's take a look here just for some last guidance messages. Let's see what we need to know here. Seek hidden treasure. Wow, we're getting really into Alchemist and Little Prince book talk stuff here. Seek hidden treasure. This is my point. Something beneath your nose. Something around you you didn't even realize is your treasure. Now I'm hearing Bruno Mars. Let's see. Oh, I feel like the cards are not coming out. There we go. Accept what is dying. Accept what is over. You know, it's kind of like what I was saying about the roses, you know, like that roses don't last very long. But aren't they so beautiful in the moment? Like there's nothing more beautiful than a rose when it's right at its peak, you know? The smell of that rose, the beauty of the petals, the texture. Like there's just something so special about it. Yet, you know, when something ends, you have new beginnings and there's going to be more roses, more beauty. Let's see what else. Let go and enjoy. Is that interesting? Just enjoy. See what happens. Go on that ride. Wow, I really hope this resonates with you. This was quite a deep reading for a weekly, but I really appreciate it. If you're still here watching, if you'd like to do the book talk, you can still join for Thursday. We're only one class in, and the classes are recorded. So if you'd like to do a personal reading with me, I'd be happy to do that. Thank you very much, and I wish you an amazing week.